couple more sessions of training before I head off to Korea for a couple of weeks. What I'm noticing right away was your attention to your right hand, making sure that it was posted on my armpit, that I couldn't just pop underneath it. Very good defensive addressing of the quick singles that I was getting, and then the quick single of your own to get into this position. Really nice little foot sweep to get me to the ground. Very much the cleanest, best takedown of the day. Probably made a tactical mistake not getting up in wrestling. Some really slick passing into this really great front headlock / side control position. And then really great control of stapling my limbs to the ground. I had to use a little bit of strength and patience to get out here. I knew you wanted to attack some arm bars and such, but I was just being patient. But that pinning, my arm was super stuck, my left arm there. Very good. And I think if you go for like paper cutters and guillotines and stuff here, maybe an Americana on the far side. And then just the one thing that I do is getting that heavy whizzer pressure on any underhooks. Gives me a chance to get into a little turtle position. But then the back step, again, a couple of times today was super successful. Tried a little bit longer to hold out here. Usually the position's so good I let it go, but thought I could get out here by pointing the toes. But really good digging for that heel hook. So just a little bit of a timing issue here. I had a good collar tie, and you go for the single once you have a little bit of an angle. But the problem with that is when you go for that single and I have a collar tie, if I sprawl at the right time, I can counter with a good snap down. So just be careful going for singles when I have that collar tie. Same thing for me when I go against you. It's very difficult to get in on the legs when I have something in the way, like a thumb post or another collar tie. Really excellent work trying to get up, but I just was able to follow you here. And then going for the back a little more with the crab rides. Really great sequence here. That thumb post on my elbow shuts down me climbing up. I adjusted my feet and I tried to get your arm as well, but then you take that chance to separate my arms. And then from here, I probably should have kept on that far side, get one for a body lock, but I thought I could get you into a leg drag here. But this inversion and this eventual regard, just excellent flexibility. And then just that grip, making sure that I'm behind you, and then once you get that leg in place. Awesome guard retention here. So one thing I need to think about is how easily I'm just giving up passing positions on top for very unreliable leg locks. I am not chaining the passing and the leg locks together. I'm giving up passing and falling back on a leg lock, which isn't a good strategy. So I think one thing that I need to potentially look into more is, instead of looking for these leg locks and ankle locks, is chaining them together. So like purposefully going for it, but then knowing that I'm not actually attacking the leg lock. So here I'm just committing too much to the leg and then end up being in a bad position. So I need to commit to the passing, because I know if I commit to the passing, I can get there, but I'm just being lazy and I feel like, oh, if the leg is there, I can attack the leg. But I think what I need to do is do more passing and then chaining it together, because right now I'm just lazily attacking the leg, and then it has to be a little bit more of an explosive movement. Some good headlock attacks, just being very lazy here, not letting anything come into the neck. Definitely felt that hand on my chest, and that will make it so that I can usually get to this position with a little Peterson roll. Good idea holding there, give you a second to think, but I'm just so heavy on your legs and on your hips. Some excellent guard retention work here. Try to get a double under. Usually I get past here, but that threat of that far side arm bar. Should have gotten past here, but awesome guard retention. Tried for a dog bar here, but this guillotine was super tight. I almost tapped, but kept it calm and was able to find how to relieve the pressure. And then this arm, that was the opening. You're able to grab that arm into that omoplata pressure, and then the triangle. Just clinical. Definitely just using my weight and strength here. World's slowest single leg. I knew if I had pressure behind your knee that it'd be quite difficult to do anything. So I made sure you had to hold yourself up, and then eventually you would have to fall off of me. It's tough. The human body is not a great jungle gym. This was actually an amazing pass, using the back step and then escaping your leg into the side control. Amazing. It's just that I was able to dig for this underhook and that butterfly guard, and then went for a sweep. Amazing way of keeping your hips facing the ground, but then I'm working this Choi bar and this underhook series on this far side, so I'm able to get into a deep underhook situation and be able to sweep you. So I'll take you through what I'm thinking here. The first thing is a punch choke. I have a good collar tie. I go for the punch choke. You almost escape under, but I catch you with the underhook. And then I'm looking for a Kimura or a T-Kimura situation, but my leg is trapped. But I'm also looking for an arm bar. And then once you throw your leg over, your leg is close to me, so I know that leg is in danger. So I use hamstring exposure to post on your leg and get out. And then from here, I know I can fight for either a 50-50 position, or if I whip my left leg across your hip, I can go for the Mikey lock. And then you do a great job escaping, twisting, but then I grab the heel hook as you turn. That was an outside heel hook. So at this point, I don't feel great about the jiu-jitsu that I've done so far because it feels like I've been pulling guard. So at this point, I've become really aggressive in the wrestling to try and stand up again. That's what I'm trying to do. And then you enter in really hard, but I have that elbow frame in your shoulder, and that gives me a really nice position for the guillotine. I go for a Darce here. I was thinking about Anaconda, but then you collapsed yourself. From here, I cow catcher you into side control. So that's a good combination for you, the Darce, the cow catcher, if you ever need to break someone into side control. And then from here, I'm looking for the arm triangle. You do the backstroke escape that we like. And then I know I can chain that into the Kisakatami. And then from here, instead of I could have gone for a punch choke if you escape the arm, but then I try to put the arm in between my legs, really great. And then you wrap your hand around my waist, little sneaky Kimura pressure. Really good rounds. See you on Saturday.